from a product, it's going to now run as a full company of its own. We're a subsidiary, so we are going to do a full content production, creation, and sales.
So the company will produce the content?
Yeah, we'll help people who don't have access to produce. We want to empower people. One of our social missions is actually to empower people who don't have.
Will that be free, or they have to pay you some money?
We depending on the contract you want to do.
Okay.
So if we own, maybe we make a contract with you. This is what you do. You want a production, you want a studio, because we have all the equipment. We're trying to work with different people, sound production, visual production. We want to help.
Won't that limit you because you're in maybe one geographical location, but you have someone from South Africa, they want to, put, how does that work? Because if I go to YouTube, I can just sign up and put my content. But what you're saying is that someone has to get to you, and then you work
for
with them.
those. No, you can actually upload from wherever you want, but we are willing to support the Ugandans.
Those who cannot.
Especially people in Uganda. We are willing to support you, help you actually create, because I give you a platform, then I don't give you the tools to execute them there. I'm just giving you our platform. It could be empty at the end of it, because these guys don't have the cameras that are good, they don't have the lights, they don't have the equipment. So if we give you the platform, we give you the camera, we give you everything, but it depends on your plan. If you have the content, you can upload it.
Okay, and how far is the library? Is it already up?
It's coming out in 40 days.
40 days, okay.
Yeah, in 40 days.
Which will be roughly 1 month and a half.
30th of May.
30th of May.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be out.
All right.
Then full version will come on 30th of July. We're releasing the first version, then releasing the second version, then the rest will be updates.
Okay, and then back to the phone. You said you made a phone, or assembled, or manufactured. Which one did you do?
We run on a supply chain system. It's not which part you do, it's which part you're based in. You understand?
So which parts do you make?
We control our work. We do assembly. We work in 9 countries. I know 5 countries, with major players in 3. The people we are directly in contact with are in 3 countries. So we control in design. We control the basic of the whole work, which in our graph consists around 75% of the work. Some engineering sections that people we don't have here, we outsource them. But what we are based in is the design of the project. Everything is controlled by our head of design, which initially was me, but now it's not me, it's another person controlling the design. So assembly, basically working in Taiwan, in Singapore, in Japan, in Vietnam, and then in China. China is our international maybe meeting point, because we have a small office in Shenzhen.
Okay, so you design the product here in Uganda,
Yeah.
and then have products shipped from all those other countries to China.
Yeah, the supply chain meets in China.
Assembled there.
Yeah, but the prototypes is assembled from here. I'm the one that does them.
So how many prototypes have you had so far?
We bought last year we made 70. We made around 85 copies, but they are just first phase prototypes. They went to different countries, because for us, what we do, we're not limited to geographical scope or something like that. We meet all markets, so we send them for trials, especially on the acceptance testing and those things in different countries. In Uganda, I think we were around 30 pieces, which went to people we feel that these are specialized engineers to assess the system. I think we send to North in different areas, so that they give us network coverage and network response. So that's how we do. We have they keep producing as we order for them.
Okay, so now you're ready to mass produce the phones.
We started mass production
You've already started.
April 16th.
Okay, and how many copies have you produced so far?
for depending on the market response, but we have shipping first of 4,000 pieces to Uganda.
4,000 pieces to
Yeah.
Uganda. And then the rest of the world?
Rest of the world for I think we are opening Indian market. We are opening India. Yeah, India is the second I think after Uganda that will be open, because we had the best review actually from India. In Uganda we had the concept of, when we push something, people give us reviews and we get that information, but there's a problem of trust and belief in Ugandan made things. That's something we discovered it. But
People don't believe in buying Ugandan and building Uganda.
Yeah, they don't believe it looks like the way we are built. Generally in Africa, it's like we are built to say some things we cannot do.
Yeah.
The information like that Chinese guy told me on phone is exactly what Ugandans also tell me, that we cannot do that.
So
He said Africans
internalized.
cannot do that. Africans also tell me we cannot do that. But it's okay, because it's one of the things we want to change.
Okay. Change perceptions.
Perceptions. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's actually what my aim is. Like it keeps just like I told you, our passion keeps changing. Like your first passion will be, I'm going to make this phone, I'm going to make this phone, I'm going to be this. Because sometimes you would say, I want to be the rich guy, I want to be the rich man, and do what. And then it changes, it becomes a social issue, whereby now we are going to deal with people who don't believe in something of their own. And it comes to the concept of our national, how do we believe in our nation, ourselves. Like few people believe in themselves. Yeah.
All right. And where have you been getting money to do all of this? Produce all these phones and...
In capital, source of capital, I'm the main funder of the whole company.
So you've been injecting your personal funds?
Yeah, we inject our personal funds, but some in the company gets too.
You must have a lot of money, huh?
No, don't have a lot of money. Instead of having a lot of money, the biggest, I told you, the biggest capital is time. The time you fixing something. Like me, I don't really have, I don't know, but when I set something, I set my head to something, it becomes the only thing I know. I can tell you I don't know so many things. I don't do so many things, I just do very few things. So I'm a person who's limited. If I set my brain, I said this is what I do, it's fixed to that, and I do it. We fail a lot. Like me, like I think mistakes are like so common that like you don't even fear making a mistake. Even like in 2 minutes I can make a mistake, but it's not hard for me to say that was a mistake, let's do it again. So it's not about the money we have, but it's the commitment our people have, because people leave, people do work, but then we keep building. If it was money, then we wouldn't achieve it.
Okay.
Because
have you got any external funding, seed funding, investment?
no, it's not a priority right now.
Okay.
My priority right now is capacity, building capacity.
Okay.
Just like we're not even looking, our priority hasn't yet gone to profit.
You haven't even launched yet?
Yeah, it's not even actually about launching. Our priority is not even about launching. Priority is actually about capacity. How do you build the capacity
to do what you want
to do what you want to do? It's not just like I told you. If you look at the Pixan name, has 9 products. So we can't focus on the phones, but yeah, we're going to focus on the phones that are going to come out. But there's so many things could be. The phone has set up one angle we are going to tackle. It tackles ICT, and it creates a platform for us in ICT. But there are certain products that might create for us platforms in other angles of the thing. Other products, like right now, I can assure you, we're doing research in agriculture, we're doing research in education, we're doing research in security.
Okay, so if you're going to sell some phones in Uganda, you know Uganda is a poor country. Most people don't have that much money, so a lot of the times we buy cheaper Chinese smartphones. How are you going to be able to make sure you're still able to compete in such a market?
In price, that's what I'm saying. So you see, when you're doing like something concerning innovation comes in different ways. Like how you're going to innovate will come in different ways. What if I tell you we can develop a whole new system, like, of making sure even you're poor, you can access it? So maybe we are innovating a new business model. I don't know. This is the business model. Now that one comes to the business model. So we might do a business model that makes even the poorest guy to have it.
A bit like a social enterprise.
Yeah, we can do something like that. So it's about, that comes to the business model. We were quite good on the product. We were making more. So the business model also might be another new stuff, or people, or we will focus on, we made the phone. Okay, the phones are mid-range phones, they're doing good, they perform well. Then we'll be like, oh, how do we actually make, just like I told you, our social mission and social vision is we want to empower everyone. So I look at this phone as a tool. If you can empower a farmer, then that would be we'll find ways of making the farmer get the phone. So it's the business model. There we release our business model before the phone comes out, so you'll have access to the model. So.
Okay. And we've had a lot of phone companies in Uganda. We had Nokia, one of the biggest players. Right now they're out of the market, so to speak. Now we have Techno, and the Chinese company Xiaomi is also entering the market. And of course some of the bigger players, Samsung, are already there. So how do you intend to enter this market that's already saturated with many products at all levels of pricing and quality?
How we intend to open, as I told you, depends on the model we are going to operate on. If we're not really, me as people, a lot of that question has been asked to me even by people who plan to do like investments. But I think it's not about them. It's about what we feel we are going to do. Focusing on Techno or focusing on Infinix or on Samsung on something is like looking at them as it can make them live in your head. And me, nothing lives in my head apart from what I believe we can do in the future. So I don't even think about them, but most times when I think about them, I look at them as people who complement our work. When I look at Techno, I have a strong feeling one day we might connect somewhere and work. It's just that we haven't found where. So for me, it's not a distraction. How we will enter will determine on how our business model works. Then we will enter. How we work with them, it depends. We might get something that Techno works on us. We can do in front. Of course, we are going to compete. I can't say we have to compete to win the loyalty. As I say before, Ugandans actually don't believe. So it makes us not start the competition from a level of price or what. For us, we are going to actually focus on instilling trust first. We have a disadvantage of trust.
Okay, sounds good. So for the 4 years that you've been in operation, what challenges besides perception have you encountered?
Was human resource. I think it was human resource. Yeah, the biggest. Like as I told you, I'm in design. I really don't think a problem or a challenge or something like that is an issue that is not. They're not problems to me because it's what we are trained to do. Like I've dealt with people's problems, then now I deal with our own problems. So it's not really a problem to me. The challenge you would say that was there, that was hard, was human resource. The experts we needed, or we still need, actually most of them don't even exist here. But we manage, most of our people are trained internally. It's
How
a
many
model.
employees do you have?
We now reach in Uganda. We as I told you, we operate in so many areas. In China, we have Chinese that work directly from us, paid.
So generally, how many employees do you have?
We reach in global 150.
150
In Uganda, we are 35.
employees.
Yes.
Full-time employees.
People who work for us and answer directly to us.
Okay. And you pay all of them and sustain it.
Senior people, some of them you don't pay them cash.
Mm.
Yeah.
How do you pay them?
You have to find a place where you say you're going to have some like you could tell the guy you're going to work for this time, then pay you at that time after delivering that. Those are the seniors, because I can say we have engineers from all these tech companies you're mentioning, like tech companies you people mention. We actually have engineers from them too consulting with us or working with us. Plus some people, when they see what we are doing, they offer themselves. See, I want to make you guys. I've met quite a number of Ugandans who are working for these corporations that are operating here abroad. And when they see us doing this, they say, actually, we are willing to come back and support. So those are the first guys that actually most times support us quick, because they thought they can only achieve those dreams when they're in abroad. Our guy who leads our research is actually in Birmingham. I met him from London, I think, and right now he's in Netherlands, but he's the one who does for us research evaluations and those things. He's a Ugandan, but he has been working for these big tech companies in evaluation. I think McKinsey works for McKinsey in evaluation also. So that's how we do our things.
Okay, and what achievements can you, like major achievements for the last 4 years that you've registered?
As Pixan?
Yeah.
Pixan itself, I think the biggest achievement is not the fund. The biggest achievement is supply chain, hardware supply chain. It's not the fund. The second, the hardware supply chain, perfect, and then the human resource, because now our local human resource is so good that it multiplies by itself. We get a CTO, he multiplies, he puts maybe 2 software engineers, they get 3, they train 3, they get operating system, because now one of the biggest challenges is actually operating system. We didn't find somebody who specializes in it, so we had to actually train a guy from the US. So that's how it works. And then it's one model we wish to send to other people also to use. And currently another thing we managed to secure is like scholarships to our people to move out. I can confirm to you, like our visual team for Turkey, they study in Turkey right now, 4 years. That's what I'm saying. Our focus is not profit maximization. If we can send our people working for us for 4 years, then we have a long plan.
Okay, that sounds good. And what do you see Pixan in future? Where do you see it 5, 10 years from now?
10 years from now, I think we are going in the next. The first plan is next 2 years, like by 2020. I hope we have the trust. We would change perception, but in 10 years, I think we will be global.
Okay.
Yeah. In 10 years, by 10 years, we'll be a global company. Like with the I always tell my guys, we are going to open office in New York, and they tell me, no, that's so much, but that's what I think, because I've seen Huawei in New York, so why not us?
Okay, because different companies have different models. Apple, for example, prefers to sort of sell through their own outlets, their stores. Do you want to do that, or do you want to have franchises, or do you want to just sell to suppliers? How do you want to do it?
I think next year we'll have stores, but we won't launch with stores. We will launch with an online store. But the other year, we hope to have our own. Then we'll also give other people who would want to do in other distribution. If I feel we are not good in sales, then we are going to give that sales to somebody who can sell it better. If you're not good in creating ads, then you're going to get somebody who does ads better than us. So our model is different. You're not rigid, high level of agility. Being agile for like is the stage of our operation. Our stability comes from how agile we are. So that's what we do.
Okay, and let's talk about raw materials, because you've said a lot. Your phones are assembled abroad, China, Taiwan, and other countries. do you have a plan of sourcing raw materials locally in Uganda or in Africa, or do you think that's not viable? Because we know that, for example, some of the key raw materials used in making phones, like coltan, are mined mostly in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, which is our neighbor, and some other things like plastics and steel, we have them. So, what is your plan as far as raw materials is concerned?
That's a question of supply chain system. As I can tell you, we know every single point a single material comes from. We had 38 minerals from natural minerals, and I literally know every single section where all of them come from. One of the things regarding internationally, for you to be certified for those things, is you have to bring a supply chain system of your things, meaning we start from groundwork. Like, you have to avoid blood materials, blood minerals like you're seeing those things of like the Democratic Republic of Congo. Like, you find rebel groups being sponsored to mine certain things, and then they get those things, they give them to these suppliers. So you have to investigate all that, and for us, I can assure you, we have all of them.
Okay.
But it's surprising, in Uganda we don't have any person, but we have from Rwanda around 5 suppliers of different things.
Of those materials.
Of different materials, yeah. And my aim, I was thinking, if we have support, we can start diverting some of those materials and changing how the things are made. But my first attempt was on leather. When you're making accessories, I sourced for leather, and we managed to get some good leather for phone casing, for the casings. Then we sampled it with another phone company. It was Canadian. We made 3,000 casings in September for I remember they were for iPhones. Then we shipped them to Canada. They bought them, and we have never received complaints of maybe issues with leather, the leather works. So I think it's a test. We always test products like that, materials like that. So, like, I can show you, people in agriculture have got might have a starting point. We might one day get and say we want to buy leather, and then we source for suppliers of leather. Then they give us leather. Then, if possible, we are going to start bringing manufacturing slowly through accessories, because these things are simple. These accessories are simple. So we'll start bringing. The first, I think, next month we are going to try an assembly project with power banks. Next month, yes, with the power bank project we just finished was yesterday. So we try so many things to figure out, when you try these things, it shapes where do we go, how did we. So it comes slowly, but we can't straight away say we are going to now bring all the materials from here. You have to figure out who does it. But currently, they take them out, and they're coming from outside. We have a filtering point. People help us filter that this is verified, this isn't verified. We have all that. In accessories, I can assure you, all the leather we might use on phone casings might come from Uganda. All. That's one thing I can say is going to happen before 30th July. And we hope it can expand to the rest also. Because if you can buy all the leather from here, and then you know how many phone casings there are, people buy accessories even more than they had from the real phones.
And it's interesting you want to use leather to make your phone casings.
Yeah.
Because other companies just use plastic or other synthetic materials. So
sustainability.
So one of your goals is environmental sustainability.
Yeah, it has to be. If you don't consider environmental issues, then you're actually using your things badly. Every design, SDG, we look through all those things like the Sustainable Development Goals. We source for those things in that format. So we have a big dream, like we want to do these things.
I mean, how do you ensure phones are environmentally friendly? Because that technology, metal and plastic, that generally is not friendly to the environment.
Plastics currently are very, like, it's a workhorse of today. Like, it's the major material people are using. But we ourselves, I can tell you one unique thing about our phone was actually the way we are forming our plastics is actually inspired from nature. Few people don't know the meaning of Pixan M8 or Pixan M6, but the M stands for marine. You get the M stands for marine. So marine, I mean, the inspiration for our design actually was under water things. So our plastic is actually different in a way that we try as much as possible in material design to make sure we make it dissolves in the soil with time, of course, not quick. And I think its thinning is different from this thing. Our phone, they look like glass, like it's glass, but it's normal plastic. We call them opal glass because one of the glass, like on M8, we are the first people to use it. Their phones we managed to secure our first thing. We managed structural patent. We managed to secure 6. So we have.
So you've got the patents from the African regulatory body.
Mostly the first patents we do, mostly we try to protect our things from China first, because they are the things that those guys are so fast. Like you do something new, 10 people tomorrow will call you that we want to transfer this thing on ours too.
Okay. So you have a patent in China.
We have a patent in China. We send to CE for Europe. We send for Europe. I think by July, I think we'll have all. I think we got to India. So sometimes the easier people give us, but here we also send. I think they started the process some time back, but here it's quite slower. But they're collaborating on it.
Okay. And yeah, you've just told us about the glass. Is it like unbreakable glass? What's so special about you?
In the body, on M8 we made a glass. On thinning, I think it's in unit of thinning, the material depth that we change that a little bit. But let me say, it achieves premium look. It looks premium. So further, it achieves a premium look, but it's a new glass. And then the structure, the external engagement looks like aluminium. We got an aluminium thing from the inside and we reflect it in the outside. So the structural design is the one that we managed to secure a lot of things. Software, we're using Android in the operating system at the moment. But we are going to, the final ones that will come, we'll customize.
With your own operating software?
With our own, we'll customize the Android our way. We have a new interface currently, but we want to next time manipulate so many stuff. Currently we did not do that much in the thing, but we designed a whole new interface.
Okay, so can you tell us a bit more about some of the other features to look out for? If you're under the permission to do so before we
we can't discuss much about the features. I can just tell you, I know structure, most people don't get structure. So, but the features, just know you're going to get more. Our applications, like the real applications coming, are going to be more about empowerment, and then social empowerment, and then of course you're going to get the library default on our phones. And once you have it, you have our phone, you might have some good offers on accessing local content.
What are the products you intend to make in the next 10 years, the other 9 products that we can look out for?
There are remaining 7 in different aspects. My interest right now is media, is more about media, content, hardware. Most of the products we're going to produce from now to 2020 might be related to media and content. Then, of course, as I told you, expect things in agriculture, in medicine, education, wherever the research guides us on what to do next.
Okay, and where are you located if someone wants to look for you see
our
what you do.
office.
Yeah.
Pixan is in a Redstone House, Bugolobi.
Okay.
Yeah, 5th floor.
And you have an online presence. What's your website name?
Yeah,
Social media?
it's pixancorp.com.
Okay.
Social media is the same.
Okay. Ending to this show, Mr. Edgar Ofuyuru Davids.
Okay, thank you very much.
We've had a good time with you, and we look forward to the amazing work that's coming out of Pixan.
Thank you very much.